Hello and welcome back. Just wanted to do a quick little video in response to Matt at Matt V's Movies. He brought up the subject of is cinema dying or is it, is it on its arse sort of thing? As declining numbers of people want to go to the cinema. Now, for me, I can only speak personally. Collecting things like this. This was the sort of my era, the video era. Loved hiring videos from the local shop. But for cinema, I think my first experience was probably seeing Superman. My dad took me to see Superman when I was little, and I was totally immersed in that film. You know, the tagline "You'll believe a man can fly." Well, I was a little kid, and I believed it, and I was in that film. I was watching it. I was sucked into it. Um, and growing up, saw films like Moonraker at the cinema when I was young with my mum, and we went to see E.T., but we couldn't get in, and ended up seeing Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid, which at that time I was not happy, but it is a good film with Steve Martin. And I'm sure there's a handful of films. I saw Superman 1 and 2, double bill. That was amazing. I mean, back then, kid sitting still for two films in a row, and they're not short ass films either, they're long ass films. I don't think my kids these days could sit for that long. Um, but, things move on, things change. Mobile phones are a great thing, but they are the worst thing as well for people sitting there scrolling, the light shining up in their face, and um, in America, in some movie theaters, it's all about crowd participation. Certain films, it's like you get him and all this, and that's not my cup of tea. And I don't think, in the UK at least, I don't think that's the way we want to go. But at the same time, what we've got with people on their phones and the food and the constant eating and popcorn and guzzling and chatting to each other and phones, it's just like, oh, just fuck off home. just stay at home. Or, you know, I can't be doing with that. No, I'm not going to pay. I can't even remember how much it is now, £8 or £10 or whatever it is, to see a film. Like others have said, you can wait and it'll be on streaming in 6 months, if not sooner. Um, if you really want to get DVD or a Blu-ray or a 4K, that's if it's worth it. Now, this was talking about Furiosa. I don't want to see that shit. I'm sorry. You might have seen the film. You might have thought it was really good, but to me, it was a film that didn't need to be made, and that's part of the problem. Is making films that don't need to be made, changing things for different agendas, whether it's woke, whether it's. I really don't know. It just seems that the people that make the films, um, remaking stuff, like even The Fall Guy, it's like, even though that might be a good film and people enjoy it, it's cashing in on nostalgia. It's not really doing anything new. Even June, that I mentioned in Matt's comments, I really enjoyed that film. Haven't seen the original, which I've got on DVD. I remember trying to watch it years ago, and it just bored the shit out of me. Um, so I'm going to give it another go. But the remake that I saw on Netflix, whether it was the soundtrack, I don't know, but it really drew me in. I was really in that sort of focused zone where you get sucked into a film, and that's what film is all about. That's why I collect films, and that's why I love films. But if now had it been in a cinema and somebody's on their phone going, I would go mad. I would have to leave. I could not deal with that. Maybe that's me and my problem. Just breathe. I will put up with so much. Okay, I can tolerate a lot. I've got 2 kids. They drive me mad, and I tolerate a lot. But I will flip at certain times, and people go, "Okay, we've gone too far." One time it happened, I was there watching Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles back in the 90s, and these kids were sitting behind me, and I was probably what in my 20s, and these kids are got their feet on the back of my chair, pushing, tapping. I'm like, oh, I'm reliving it right now. I'm getting so angry. I want to. Anyway, I didn't do anything violent, but I made my feelings clear. I had an outburst in the cinema, very embarrassing. A lot of people stopped watching the film and were watching me shouting at these children. Not my proudest moment, but that's what it's like, and that's all I've got time for you. Yeah, if people bit more inconsiderate, I would kill people. But if they were more considerate and put their phones away, or just stayed at home, or went to the playground, or stayed in McDonald's, or whatever the hell they do, um, doing their TikTok dances and the rest of it. Yeah, I've always been a grumpy old man, so there's no excuse. Even in my 20s, I was grumpy and psychotic. So there's, I'm just, it's not, just, the cinema's not for me anymore. VHS, DVDs, Netflix, and chill. Thanks for watching. Take it easy.